So if you're someone who loves your coffee, keep loving it. Just love it smarter. Use what you've learned today to make your coffee work for your body, not against it. Choose pure medium roast Arabica beans. Brew at a gentle temperature, skip the sugar, stay hydrated, and never forget to pair that coffee with real food and real rest. Because when you drink coffee the right way, it doesn't just wake you up. It supports your heart, your brain, and your joy for life. And now, before you finish this video, I'd love to hear from you. How do you take your coffee each day? Do you prefer it black, with milk, or maybe decaf in the afternoon? Have you tried any of the tips from this video? And did you notice a difference? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might inspire someone else to make a healthy change today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with a friend who also loves their morning coffee. And of course, subscribe to Tips for Senior for more simple, science-based health and lifestyle advice made especially for older adults. Together, we're building a community of smart, healthy, and happy seniors, one cup of coffee at a time. Now let's talk about something that's often overlooked: the emotional connection coffee provides. For many older adults, especially those living alone or retired, coffee is a ritual of connection. Maybe it's chatting with a neighbor at the local cafe, or enjoying a quiet morning with your spouse, or simply sitting by the window as the sun rises. That moment has emotional power. Psychologists have found that small daily rituals like this help stabilize mood and lower stress hormones. In a 2022 study published in Frontiers in Behavioral Neuroscience, seniors who practiced mindful morning routines, including drinking coffee or tea, reported lower levels of anxiety and depression. It's not just about caffeine, it's about familiarity, rhythm, and mindfulness. And that brings us to something truly beautiful: coffee as part of a lifestyle of longevity. Cultures known for long, healthy lives, like those in the blue zones of Okinawa, Japan, and Sardinia, Italy, often include coffee as part of their daily habits. But notice how they drink it: slowly, socially, and in moderation. They don't gulp it down in a rush or use it to stay awake late into the night. For them, coffee is a moment of presence, a way to pause, breathe, and connect. That attitude, combined with balanced diets and active lifestyles, may explain why so many people in those regions live well into their 90s. So as you sip your next cup, remember this: coffee is not the enemy of aging. It can be a gentle ally when used wisely. Choose quality beans, brew with care, drink at the right time, and enjoy it with awareness. Let it be something that uplifts you, not something you depend on. Take the story of George Williams, 81, from Ohio. And that's really the secret. Coffee can either work for you or against you. It all depends on how you build your habits around it. By choosing the right amount, pairing it with food, staying hydrated, and respecting your body's natural rhythm, you turn coffee into a tool for healthy aging, not a trigger for health problems. Now there's just one more thing left to talk about, something that brings all of this together. Because coffee isn't only about the body, it's also about the mind. In our final part, let's explore how coffee can support your brain health, mood, and longevity, and how to make your daily cup part of a lifestyle that helps you age gracefully. We've talked about timing, brewing, and daily habits. But let's not forget one of the most fascinating things about coffee: the way it connects to your mind. For many seniors, that morning cup isn't just a beverage. It's a small moment of peace, focus, and pleasure. Something familiar in a world that changes fast. But beyond the comfort, coffee also has surprising effects on the brain itself. Multiple studies, from Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and the National Institute on Aging, have found that moderate coffee consumption can help protect against age-related cognitive decline. Caffeine acts like a gentle wake-up call for your brain cells, increasing alertness and focus. But it also goes deeper. Coffee contains over 1,000 natural compounds, many of which are antioxidants that reduce inflammation in the brain, one of the key factors behind diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. In a long-term study following more than 6,000 adults over 10 years, researchers discovered that if you enjoy an afternoon coffee, try pairing it with something light like a handful of nuts or a piece of fruit. The healthy fats and natural sugars help balance your blood sugar levels, preventing that shaky, empty feeling that some people get from caffeine alone. Now let's talk about a tip that many seniors find surprisingly helpful: coffee breaks as relaxation tools. Instead of rushing through your cup, take 5 quiet minutes to really enjoy it. Smell the aroma, notice the warmth in your hands, and breathe slowly between sips. This mindful approach doesn't just make coffee more enjoyable, it actually helps lower stress hormones. A study from Frontiers in Psychology found that even the scent of coffee can reduce anxiety and improve mood by activating the brain's relaxation pathways. So don't underestimate that small morning ritual. It's not just coffee, it's self-care in disguise. Now, there's also something to be said about listening to your body. If coffee ever makes you feel dizzy, anxious, or causes your heart to race, that's a sign to cut back. If it gives you energy, focus, and comfort, great, you've found your balance. Remember, coffee isn't meant to replace sleep, food, or water. It's meant to enhance your lifestyle, not control it. And if you ever find that you can't go a single morning without it, that might be your cue to take a short coffee break for a few days. Cutting back just a little helps reset your body's sensitivity to caffeine, so when you return to it, even a small cup feels satisfying again. One more practical tip: if you're taking medications, especially for blood pressure, thyroid, or cholesterol, make sure to leave at least 1 hour between taking your medicine and drinking coffee. Some medications can interact with caffeine, reducing their effectiveness or increasing side effects. Let's start with the most common question: how much coffee is safe for seniors to drink each day? According to research from the Mayo Clinic and the American Heart Association, up to 3 small cups a day, or around 300 milligrams of caffeine, is considered safe for most healthy adults over 60. But the key word here is most. Each person's tolerance depends on age, weight, medications, and overall health. If you're sensitive to caffeine or have heart issues, 1 to 2 small cups, about 8 ounces each, is a better target. Think of coffee as a supplement, not a fuel source. You want just enough to boost your energy and mood, not so much that your hands shake or your heart races. And speaking of mood, caffeine affects your body differently as you age. Older adults tend to metabolize caffeine more slowly. That means it stays in your system longer. Drinking too much or too late in the day can lead to restlessness, dehydration, and disrupted sleep. A good rule of thumb is this: no caffeine within 6 hours of bedtime. So if you go to bed around 10 p.m., your last cup should be no later than 4 in the afternoon, and ideally before 2. This simple change can dramatically improve your sleep quality and energy levels the next day. Now let's talk about something that often gets overlooked: hydration. Coffee is mildly diuretic, which means it can cause your body to lose a bit of water. For younger people, that's not a big deal. But for seniors, who are already at higher risk of dehydration, it's important to stay ahead of it. Here's a smart habit: for every cup of coffee, drink at least 1 glass of water. If you have 2 cups in the morning, pair them with 2 glasses of water throughout the morning as well. It keeps your kidneys happy, your digestion smooth, and your skin hydrated. You can even think of it as a rhythm: 1 sip of coffee, 1 sip of water. And please don't add butter or coconut oil just because you heard about bulletproof coffee online. While that trend might appeal to younger people looking for quick energy, it's not ideal for seniors. Those high-fat drinks can raise cholesterol and increase strain on the gallbladder or liver, especially in people with slower metabolism. Instead, focus on balance: a touch of milk, a sprinkle of spice, and you've got a cup that supports both taste and health. Here's a real story. Robert and Elaine Morris, a retired couple from Arizona in their 70s, used to love flavored lattes every morning. But after Elaine was diagnosed with prediabetes, their doctor suggested cutting sugar from their coffee. They switched to black coffee with cinnamon and almond milk. Elaine said, "At first I missed the sweetness, but now coffee actually tastes like coffee again, and I feel lighter, less sluggish." Within 3 months, both of them had better blood sugar numbers and more stable energy throughout the day. So remember this: what you add to your coffee can either make it your best friend or your quiet enemy. Keep it simple, natural, and light. Use real ingredients, the kind your grandmother would recognize, and your body will thank you. Now that you know how to build a healthy cup of coffee from cocoa powder is another surprising addition that's both tasty and beneficial. Unsweetened cocoa adds antioxidants and a mild chocolate flavor without sugar. It's also rich in magnesium, which helps with relaxation and muscle function, something many seniors are deficient in. Try mixing half a teaspoon into your brew for a healthy mocha effect. Now let's talk about what to avoid beyond sugar and creamers. Flavored syrups, artificial sweeteners, and light coffee drinks from chains are some of the biggest offenders. They often contain hidden sugars, emulsifiers, and preservatives that can spike blood sugar and upset digestion. The simpler your ingredients, the healthier your coffee will be. If you're used to sweetness in your coffee, the solution isn't to quit cold turkey. It's to step down slowly. Try reducing your sugar by half for 1 week, then by half again the next. Your taste buds adjust faster than you think. Within a few weeks, you'll start tasting the natural sweetness of the coffee itself, something that sugar has been masking all along. If you really crave a bit of sweetness, switch to natural alternatives like stevia, monk fruit, or erythritol. They're plant-based, have little to no impact on blood sugar, and don't come with the bitter aftertaste that artificial sweeteners like aspartame sometimes cause. And if you like honey, just use a small drizzle, no more than half a teaspoon, preferably added after the coffee has cooled slightly to preserve its nutrients. Next, let's talk about creamers. Store-bought creamers might make your coffee silky and smooth, but they're often loaded with trans fats, artificial flavors, and chemicals like carrageenan, which can upset digestion. Many seniors who experience bloating or stomach cramps after coffee aren't reacting to caffeine, they're reacting to what's in the creamer. Instead, go for real milk or unsweetened nut milks like almond, oat, or soy. These not only taste natural but also add extra nutrients like calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium, all essential for bone health. If you can tolerate dairy, a small splash of whole milk or even half and half is fine. The key is moderation. 1 to 2 tablespoons, not half the cup. And here's a tip. Add your milk after the coffee cools slightly, around 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Adding it too early can denature the proteins in milk, changing its taste and reducing nutrient absorption. Warm, not scalding, is best. Now let's talk about something many people don't think about: spices. Instead of sugar, try adding a pinch of cinnamon. It adds warmth, flavor, and helps stabilize blood sugar levels. In fact, several studies in the Journal of Medicinal Food have shown that cinnamon can improve insulin sensitivity, meaning your body uses sugar more efficiently. Another great option is turmeric, especially when combined with a bit of black pepper. This golden spice has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and can help reduce joint pain and stiffness, common in older adults. Just a small pinch in your morning coffee can make a subtle but healthy difference. Here's a real-life example. Linda Harris, a 70-year-old from California, used to love her dark hot coffee brewed in an old percolator, but she often complained of heartburn and bloating afterward. When her daughter suggested switching to pour-over with filtered water and medium roast beans, Linda noticed the difference almost immediately. "It tastes cleaner," she said, "and I haven't had that burning feeling in weeks." Sometimes the smallest change brings the biggest relief. So, to sum it up, brew gently, not aggressively. Use water that's hot enough to extract flavor, but not so hot it burns the beans. Try methods like pour-over or cold brew for smoothness and comfort. Use paper filters if you're watching cholesterol, and always pay attention to water quality. Brewing coffee this way isn't just about health. It's also about mindfulness. The act of slowly preparing your morning coffee can calm the mind, reduce stress, and help you start your day with focus and gratitude. It turns a simple habit into a small ritual of wellness. Now that we've covered the best brewing methods, let's move on to something equally important: what you put into your coffee. Because even the healthiest brew can lose its benefits if you add the wrong things to it. In the next part, we'll talk about what to add and what to avoid to make your cup of coffee even healthier for your heart, your bones, and your blood sugar. Now that you've learned how to brew coffee the right way, let's talk about what actually goes into your cup. Because for many people, it's not the coffee that hurts their health. It's what they mix into it. The sugar, the cream, the flavored syrups. These small extras can quietly turn a healthy morning drink into a hidden calorie bomb. But don't worry, with just a few swaps, your cup can become both delicious and good for your body. Let's start with the biggest one, sugar. Most seniors grew up during a time when coffee was always sweetened, and it feels almost incomplete without that spoonful of sugar. But research has shown that even small amounts of added sugar can have big effects on health after 60. Over time, it raises inflammation, increases the risk of diabetes, and adds strain to the heart. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that adults over 65 who consumed sugary beverages daily had a 25% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who didn't. Another fantastic option for seniors is cold brew. Unlike iced coffee, which is brewed hot and then cooled, cold brew is steeped slowly in cold water for 12 to 18 hours. Because there's no high heat involved, it contains up to 70% less acidity and is naturally sweeter. For older adults dealing with acid reflux, cold brew can be a game changer. It's smooth, gentle on the stomach, and stays fresh in the fridge for up to 3 days. Just pour a small glass, add a bit of water or milk, and you're ready to go. If you're wondering whether cold brew still has caffeine, yes, it does. In fact, it's slightly higher in caffeine per ounce. But since most people dilute it before drinking, the total caffeine ends up being moderate. You can always use half-calf or decaf beans for an even lighter version. There's also the French press, which gives a rich and full-bodied flavor. However, it allows natural oils called diterpenes to stay in your cup. These compounds, caffeine and ca-wheel, are fine in small amounts, but may raise LDL cholesterol if you drink unfiltered coffee every day. So if you already have cholesterol concerns, stick with filtered or pour-over methods most of the time. The way you grind your coffee also matters. A medium grind is perfect for drip or pour-over, while a coarse grind works best for French press or cold brew. Too fine a grind can over-extract the coffee, making it taste sharp or sour. Remember, the smoother the coffee, the better it is for your digestion and your heart. Now let's talk about one more small but powerful detail: water quality. Many seniors overlook it, but water makes up 98% of your coffee. If your tap water has too much chlorine or minerals, it can make your coffee taste harsh and even interfere with how your body absorbs nutrients. Using filtered or spring water creates a cleaner, more balanced flavor and protects your stomach from irritation caused by excess minerals. Now that we know which kind of coffee is healthiest, let's move to the next step: how to brew it. Because the way you prepare your coffee can make it either a gentle morning boost or a harsh shock to your stomach. In the next part, we'll look at simple brewing methods that bring out coffee's benefits while keeping it smooth and senior-friendly. Now that you know when to drink coffee and which type to choose, let's talk about how to brew it. Because the way you prepare your coffee can completely change how your body reacts to it. For younger people, a strong espresso shot might feel energizing, but for seniors, that same cup can cause heartburn, a racing heartbeat, or even dehydration. Luckily, with a few small tweaks, you can brew coffee that's smoother, lighter on the stomach, and much healthier overall. Let's start with temperature. Most people brew coffee using water that's almost boiling, around 205 degrees Fahrenheit. But that heat extracts more acids and bitter compounds from the beans, which can irritate the stomach lining, especially for people over 60. Experts recommend brewing coffee at a slightly lower temperature, around 190 to 195 degrees Fahrenheit. This creates a gentler cup that's still flavorful, but much easier on digestion. If you use a drip machine, you don't need to change much. Just make sure you're not leaving the pot sitting on a hot plate for too long. Reheating coffee repeatedly increases its acidity and breaks down antioxidants. For those who enjoy espresso or strong brews, try using slightly coarser grounds and shorter extraction times. That simple change can make your espresso smoother and less harsh. Now, one of the best brewing methods for older adults is the pour-over method. It's slower, yes, but that's exactly why it's so good. Pour-over coffee allows for better control of temperature and extraction. The result? A cup that's clean, aromatic, and much lower in bitterness. It's also free from the oils and fine particles that can irritate the stomach, especially when you use a paper filter. Think of it as a mindful ritual. Warm the filter, add your medium ground coffee, and pour hot water slowly in circles. You'll not only make a healthier drink, but also give yourself a moment of calm to start your morning. Take the story of Mary Evans, a 72-year-old retiree from Oregon. She loved her dark roast coffee, 2 big mugs every morning. But she often felt jittery and noticed her blood pressure creeping up. After learning about the differences between roasts, she switched to a medium roast Arabica blend and limited herself to 1 cup before noon, followed by a small decaf after lunch. Within a few weeks, her doctor reported lower blood pressure and better hydration. "I didn't give up coffee," she said. "I just learned to listen to my body." That's really the secret, isn't it? Coffee doesn't have to be an enemy to your health. It can actually be a friend if you choose wisely. Go for pure 100% Arabica beans, preferably medium roast, and brew it fresh. Avoid overly dark roasts, sugary instant mixes, or flavored syrups that hide what's really inside your cup. And remember, the best coffee for seniors isn't necessarily the strongest. It's the one that supports your body, not stresses it. For seniors, the best choice is medium roast. Here's why. Dark roasts, while flavorful, contain higher amounts of a chemical called acrylamide, which forms when coffee is roasted at very high temperatures. High levels of acrylamide have been linked to potential health risks over long periods. Medium roast hits the sweet spot. Warm, aromatic, flavorful, but with lower acrylamide and balanced acidity. Another thing to consider is how your coffee is processed. Instant coffee may be convenient, but it often contains additives, fillers, or flavoring agents that don't appear on the label. These extras can sometimes irritate the stomach or raise blood sugar levels. A report from Consumer Reports found that certain low-cost instant coffee brands had trace amounts of unwanted compounds, even microplastics, due to packaging and manufacturing shortcuts. So, if possible, choose freshly ground or whole bean coffee instead. Grind only what you need each day. It keeps the flavor fresh and the nutrients intact. If convenience matters, buy coffee pods made with high-quality Arabica and recyclable materials, but make sure they don't use plastic linings that release chemicals when exposed to heat. Now, what about decaf coffee? Some seniors prefer it to avoid the side effects of caffeine, and that's a smart choice, especially in the afternoon or evening. But not all decaf coffee is safe. Traditional decaf methods use chemical solvents like methylene chloride to strip out caffeine. These chemicals, even in small amounts, can irritate the liver or lungs. Instead, look for labels that say Swiss water process or CO2 process. These are natural decaffeination methods that use only water or carbon dioxide, no chemicals at all. The result is cleaner, smoother coffee that's 99% caffeine-free and safe for long-term use. You might be surprised to know that many seniors actually benefit from alternating between regular and decaf coffee. For example, drink regular coffee in the morning for energy and focus, and switch to decaf in the afternoon for taste and relaxation. That way, you still enjoy the ritual without overloading your body with caffeine. So now that you know when to drink coffee, the next question is just as important. What kind of coffee should you be drinking? Because not all coffee is equal, and the wrong type could quietly undo the benefits of your healthy routine. Let's find out which coffee types are best for seniors, and how to choose the one that helps your heart, your brain, and your digestion the most. Now that you know when to drink your coffee, let's talk about what kind of coffee is actually best for your body. Because not every cup is created equal. Walk into any supermarket and you'll see endless options: light roast, dark roast, instant, decaf, organic, Arabica, Robusta. It can be confusing, right? But when it comes to senior health, the type of coffee you choose can make a huge difference in how your body reacts, from your digestion to your blood pressure, and even how your brain functions. Let's start with the beans themselves. The two main types of coffee beans are Arabica and Robusta. Arabica beans are smoother, less bitter, and have a lower caffeine content. Robusta beans, on the other hand, are stronger, more bitter, and contain almost twice as much caffeine. That might sound great if you want a quick boost, but for older adults, too much caffeine can mean racing heartbeats, anxiety, and dehydration. That's why most experts recommend choosing 100% Arabica coffee if you're over 60. It gives you a gentle lift without overstimulating your heart or nerves. It's also easier on the stomach, less acidic, more fragrant, and often richer in antioxidants. Studies from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that moderate coffee consumption, especially Arabica, can actually help reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, stroke, and even cognitive decline, as long as it's brewed properly and not overloaded with sugar or cream. Now, let's talk about roast level: light, medium, or dark. Many people believe dark roast coffee is stronger, but that's not exactly true. In fact, light and medium roasts actually have more caffeine and more natural antioxidants because they're roasted for a shorter time. Drinking at the right time also helps reduce common side effects like jitteriness or an irregular heartbeat, which can happen more easily in people over 60. And if you love an afternoon cup, try to finish it before 2 p.m. Caffeine can stay in your system for 6 to 8 hours, and older adults process it even more slowly. A cup too late in the day might seem harmless, but it can make it harder to fall asleep or keep you from reaching deep, restful sleep. In 2023, a study in the Journal of Sleep Research showed that adults over 60 who drank coffee after 3 p.m. had up to 30% lower sleep quality compared to those who drank it before noon. Poor sleep doesn't just leave you tired. It affects memory, raises blood pressure, and can even disrupt your mood and immune system. Take the story of James Porter, a 68-year-old retired teacher from Florida. For years, he enjoyed his coffee around 5 p.m. while watching TV, but his doctor suggested switching to mornings. Within a week, James noticed he was sleeping better, waking up more refreshed, and feeling calmer throughout the day. "It's like I'm finally drinking coffee the way my body wanted me to," he said. If you want to try this yourself, here's a simple routine. Start your morning with a glass of warm water first. It wakes up your stomach and helps your body absorb caffeine more gently. Then have a light breakfast before your coffee. An empty stomach can make coffee too acidic, which often causes heartburn or discomfort for seniors. And here's another important note. If you take medication for blood pressure or heart health, give your body at least 1 hour between taking your medicine and drinking coffee. Caffeine can temporarily raise your heart rate, and in some cases, reduce how well certain medications work. That small timing adjustment can make your coffee both safer and more enjoyable. When you find the time that feels right, usually late morning, you'll notice how much smoother coffee feels on your body. You'll still get the alertness you want, but without the crash, the anxiety, or the sleepless nights. Have you ever wondered if the coffee you drink every morning is truly helping your health, or quietly working against it? For many older adults, that daily cup of coffee feels like comfort, energy, and routine all at once. But what if I told you that how and when you drink your coffee could make the difference between supporting your heart, your sleep, and your brain, or slowly wearing them down over time? Coffee can be one of the healthiest drinks for seniors, if it's enjoyed the right way. But as we age, our bodies change, and so should our coffee habits. In this video, we'll uncover the smart, science-backed ways to drink coffee for better health after 60. The best time to drink it, the safest types of coffee, how to brew it for smoother digestion, and what to avoid in your cup. By the end, you'll know exactly how to turn your morning coffee into a healthy ritual that helps you age well, not faster. Now let's start with one of the most common questions seniors have. When is the best time to drink coffee? Most people start their day with coffee right after getting out of bed. It's almost instinctive. But science shows that might not be the best idea, especially as we get older. Here's why. When you wake up, your body naturally releases a hormone called cortisol. It's the hormone that helps you feel alert, focused, and ready for the day. For most people, especially older adults, cortisol levels are highest around 8 to 9 a.m. If you drink coffee right at that moment, when your body is already alert, caffeine doesn't do much. Instead, it can actually confuse your system, lowering your natural energy over time and making you rely more on caffeine to feel awake. Researchers at Harvard University found that waiting just 1 or 2 hours after waking up allows caffeine to work with your body's rhythm instead of against it. That's why experts recommend seniors enjoy coffee between 9:30 and 11 a.m., when cortisol naturally dips. At that time, caffeine feels smoother, you get better focus, and your body uses energy more efficiently without extra stress on your heart.